Jason had a decent life. A steady job, a small apartment, a car that worked most days. His friends said he was doing well. But Jason felt something was off. Every morning he hit snooze 3 times. Every night he watched others live the life he wanted. Yet he told himself, "I'm okay." That was the trap. Being okay was the enemy of greatness. People don't change when they're miserable. They change when they're bored of being average and scared to admit it. When Jason was younger, he had dreams. Building something big, traveling, being financially free. But life chipped away at those dreams. Not with tragedy, but with routines. Over time, his dreams didn't die. They were quietly replaced by weekend plans, TV series, and credit card debt. The truth? Dreams without action are just fantasies. Jason never made real decisions. He just followed what was in front of him. Jason worked 9 to 5 like most people. He wasn't lazy. He was dependable, respected, but he was replaceable. His entire lifestyle was built on a salary that could disappear with a single email. He realized one terrifying truth. Having a job isn't security. It's dependency. And dependency is a luxury the rich never rely on. Wealthy people don't trade time for money forever. They build assets that work while they sleep. The comfort trap is silent. It feels like safety, but it's slow decay. It's the warm couch when you should be learning. It's the daily coffee when you could be saving. It's saying, "I'm too tired," instead of, "I'll try." Comfort whispers, "You're doing fine." But nothing great was ever built from comfort. Jason realized he was living someone else's plan, one that ended with regret. One morning, Jason didn't hit snooze. He woke up, sat at his desk, and wrote down one question. What would my life look like if I took full responsibility? He started reading about money. He stopped scrolling and started selling. It wasn't dramatic. It was daily, but it changed him. You don't get rich from a moment. You get rich from breaking a pattern and never going back. Jason started waking up early and reading about money. The first thing he learned shocked him. Hard work isn't enough. Most people work hard. Janitors, nurses, factory workers. They break their backs, but they don't get rich. Why? Because wealth isn't just about effort. It's about direction. A man rowing hard in the wrong direction still ends up lost. Jason saw how effort without education is just exhaustion. The rich work hard too, but they work smart. They work once and get paid again and again. He realized he was never taught money, not by schools, not by his parents. Taxes, credit scores, passive income. It was like a secret language meant to keep people confused. He had wasted years on bad spending habits, forgotten subscriptions, and impulse buys that gave him 10 minutes of joy and months of debt. He didn't feel stupid. He felt blind. He remembered the hours he spent comparing prices on phones, but never once compared interest rates or investment platforms. That's how most people stay broke. His credit card didn't explode in one day. It crept up slowly. A dinner here, a new gadget there. Then came interest. Quiet, consistent, unforgiving. Jason realized most people aren't broke from emergencies. They're broke from patterns. And the real danger, debt didn't feel like punishment. It felt normal, like everyone had it, so it must be okay. But being common doesn't make something safe. He looked around and saw a society living paycheck to paycheck, addicted to appearance, allergic to sacrifice. He started noticing the difference between what looked rich and what was rich. Everyone flaunted wealth, cars, watches, vacations. But behind the curtains were loans, leases, and empty savings accounts. The truly wealthy weren't loud. They were strategic. They bought things that paid them. Real estate, stocks, digital assets. They delayed gratification. They didn't try to look rich. They built wealth silently. Jason stopped buying status. He started building freedom. He tracked his spending, canceled subscriptions, cooked instead of ordering in, read one financial book a week. He bought his first dividend stock and made $8 in a month, small but real. He sold unused things online, learned skills in the evenings. Bit by bit, he began to shift. The change wasn't instant, but it was permanent, because wealth doesn't arrive. It accumulates, and every small decision mattered. The numbers weren't biased. They didn't care about background. They rewarded one thing: action. Jason no longer saw himself as just a worker. He was a builder now, of income, of systems, of freedom. His identity began to shift. He no longer envied the rich. He studied them. He followed investors, not influencers. He tracked habits, not hashtags. When people complained about their jobs, he stayed quiet, not out of arrogance, but because he had outgrown the conversation. The man who once hit snooze now woke up with purpose, and that scared the people around him. He started getting invites again. Dinners, parties, weekend trips. The same temptations that used to drain his wallet now knocked louder than ever. But Jason had changed. He wasn't rude, just firm. "I'm working on something," he'd say. Most didn't get it. Some mocked him. A few even got angry. But Jason realized something freeing. You don't need everyone to understand your grind. You just need to keep grinding. Months passed. Then came his first big win. An online product he launched started selling. Not viral, not flashy, but steady. He made more in 1 week than he used to make in a month. It was surreal. He didn't celebrate with champagne. He reinvested. He upgraded his software, bought a better mic, hired a designer. The win wasn't the money. It was the proof that this life, the one he chose, was working. Momentum built. His investments grew. His cash flow diversified. He still worked part-time at first, but his side hustle became his main hustle. He read more books in 6 months than he had in 10 years. He made mistakes. He lost money, but he kept going. He had built systems, discipline. He had seen too much to turn back. Success wasn't a goal anymore. It was a lifestyle. One night, Jason sat on his balcony, laptop closed. He looked out at the skyline. He wasn't flashy. He didn't drive a Lambo, but he had freedom, time, options. He smiled, not because he was rich, but because he had become the kind of man who could build richness again and again. He didn't just change his bank account. He changed who he was, and that, he realized, was the greatest wealth of all.